What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the CrabNet Show. On tonight's episode, we'll be talking about the Europa League. The Final Four has been decided this week, and we'll be looking at the chances of the favorites being Manchester United and Inter Milan. That's our first segment for today. Thereafter, we're staying in the European scene. Juventus recently knocked out of the Champions League, but they have a new coach in the legend, Andrea Pirlo. We'll be talking to Pirlo's chances at rekindling success at the old lady in Turin. And lastly, we'll be having a trivia segment, one of our favorite segments on the show, where our analysts get to talk about their favorite teams and we'll test their knowledge on their ex-players, talking to some current transfers that happened this year. That's going to be an exciting segment to close out the show. Thanks again for joining us on the 9th episode of the CrabNet Show. I'm your host, Raj, and we've got a full host of resident analysts again. Starting from the top, welcoming Shay. Shay, welcome back. We missed you on the last episode, Shay.
Hey, yeah, also missed you guys back. Missed being here. Happy to be back.
Cool, Shay. Welcome back. And going down the line, Kai. Kai is here with us again. How's it going, Kai?
What's up, guys? Good to be back, man.
Sure, Kai. Always appreciate your time. And lastly, our main man, Gur. Gur, welcome back, boy.
How's everybody?
Short. Bringing you fresh opinions from the streets of South Africa. Shaky Garage is back again, talking football, bringing fresh opinions, authentic opinions, and bringing it live from the streets. So getting into our first segment, boys, as United fans, Shay and Gur, you must have been excited to see your team get into the semis of the Europa League this week. We are recording on Wednesday, the 12th of August. Just a few nights ago, United booked their place in the Europa League semi-finals, along with Inter Milan, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Sevilla. So we had to bring in a conversation to talk about the Europa League, some big European names set to take center stage in the Final Four. And to start off with Gur, your boys have booked their place after getting past some easy opposition in the past. But now there's a big game coming up in the next round. What's your thoughts on Ole taking Europa League success back to England? Gur?
Chances are very good, very likely. I see us taking silverware back home. Yeah, what I'm going to say about that. You're talking about
Jinx it.
This is solid support. This is solid support.
Come on, Europa League. It's still a big competition. I think Kai is giving you some slack there because he feels.
Yeah, it's the only competition we got right now. So at least it's something to go after.
But squeezing past Copenhagen, there was a 1-0 victory in extra time.
I'm happy that we got through, but it was a tough team. They had quite much of the ball.
Yeah.
Too much of the ball, and but we played well as well.
Yeah. And I guess a victory is a victory. And next up for United in the semis is Sevilla. Shay, what's your thoughts? Is your front three? We know we spoke about them at length towards the back end of the Premier League season. Do they have what it takes to get past Sevilla, who knocked out Wolves last night?
Yeah, so I was actually just having a look at the Sevilla squad now and in what kind of shape they're in. They do have a bit of a threat up front. They have Immobile there, who I think was being neck and neck with Ronaldo this season for the most goals. He's actually
no. Immobile is actually with Lazio.
Nice.
He did have a season with Sevilla the previous year.
Oh, okay, he's left.
Actually with...
Okay, cool. So then whoever else they have up front for a strike force doesn't have many goals between them. So
yeah,
at least that Immobile is one threat.
They do have some really good players, the likes of Eva Banega. I don't know if you remember the ex-Liverpool wingman Suso, as well as ex-City boy Jesus Navas. So
Yeah,
some big
so-
names in that Sevilla team.
Yeah.
And Navas at 34 years old, I don't see his legs being too much of a threat right now. But hey, he has some experience there. He's been around, so anything can happen on the night.
Yeah.
And you telling me Immobile is left now is such a relief. That's great.
Yeah, Ciro
On that
Immobile
list, from
has
what I
been
just checked
prolific.
on Google, he looked like the biggest threat there. He was going at a goal a game ratio and he was around. But since then, there's not many people who have too many goals between them behind
Yeah.
him. There's a few young Moroccan strikers there. I see a 23 and 24-year-old guy,
Mhm.
like 4 or 5, and a few Europa goals between them as well. So
Yeah.
anything can happen on the night. I was looking at Sevilla first before Inter being a threat. Inter also look in great shape, but United, I'm backing them. I'm confident that we can take this. It's a cup competition now. There's 2 games to go. Ole can get some silver behind his name. It'll be a great start, a great boost. But them taking 3rd place was obviously a huge confidence booster for him as well.
Yeah.
You want United to be back on top. That's what they want to be challenging. So
But
challenging Porto.
you
Europa.
mentioned Inter and Kai. I want to get your thoughts on Inter's chances. They are also in the final 4. Maybe the easier tie, some might say, against Shakhtar Donetsk. But Inter has had a great season, second in Serie A. Antonio Conte has done a great job in rejuvenating that Inter Milan team. What's your thoughts on Inter's potential to take the Europa League this season, Kai?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're speaking about United, but yeah, you gotta they definitely have to contest with that Sevilla side before they can even be in the same room as Inter Milan. You know, I mean, this side it's an amazing side at the moment. You got the likes of Alexis Sanchez, Lukaku, Eriksen, Ashley Young, and Diego Godin.
Yeah, it's a complete English Premier League team there. Let's
Yeah,
not
well,
forget Victor Moses as well.
Moses as well. Yeah, I mean, Alexis Lukaku ready, fired up to score against his old club there.
Yeah,
And Lukaku is also on blistering form with 31 goals in all competitions. And he's got 9 goals in succession in the Europa, which is a record at the moment. He's taken Alan Shearer's record away. And then, I mean, just on a managerial front, you've got Conte. I mean, this guy's got pedigree, right? He's, from a player perspective, captain of Juventus, Champions League winner. And on a managerial level, Juventus 3 titles. I think you got it. Yeah, you won that title at Chelsea and a FA Cup, I think, the following year. So I mean, he's got the class to do it.
Coach
So
Italy.
yeah, exactly, Italy as well. I mean, player perspective, they're on point. They've got players that are firing, and they've got a much better manager than Ole, who's second-grade moldy manager.
Yeah, United boys are not going to be excited to hear that. But yes, Conte obviously he's got the experience. He's got the pedigree. Sevilla as well, multiple-time champions in this competition. So a lot to be wary of by Ole and the team. But one of the unlucky boys in this league is one of your favorite teams, Wolves. They've had a brilliant season, but they've just run out of steam towards the end of the season. We know they finished just outside the European positions in the Premier League after a few losses at the back end. And again, last night they were knocked out by Sevilla, losing 1-0 in the quarterfinals. Your thoughts on Wolves' season, Gur? Obviously disappointing end, but a lot to be admired about the Wolves team.
Yeah, man. I don't think that it's a sad thing. Yeah, it's sad that they got knocked out, but they must be so happy at that club from where they came and where they're playing next season as well. It's not only just because of this season. They took it so far. Everything is just working out for them from a team that got promoted just recently. I'm happy to see them carrying on playing like a top half of the table team.
Yeah.
I don't see them getting relegated anytime soon. So I'm happy, man. I love seeing these promoted teams doing okay.
Yeah. And they did a brilliant campaign. One of their biggest potential issues in the close season is retaining some of the players who've brought them through this season. Shay, to get your thoughts on this. The likes of Raul Jimenez, Adama Traore, do you see them still coming out in the Wolves orange next season, seeing as they've been outstanding in the last campaign?
You know what? I really hope so. I really hope that they stick with their clubs and push Wolves even further forward, because they're one of those clubs that have shown great resilience over the season, to have really gelled together and competed to actually go up to Europe. It's a great honor for the teams to actually be able to go and play in European competitions and travel all around Europe to actually meet these other teams of category equivalent to theirs. So, I mean, Europe has the best football in the world. I think, no doubt, it's the most publicized, it's most we get to watch and we get to support. And for these younger upcoming teams, for them to hold on to their key players, like we saw Arsenal more recently, they want to hold on to Aubameyang right now. And I hope he feels that home there. I hope he stays with them, and I hope he leads them forward, because with them, he can have a challenge if he leads them. Same thing with Wolves, with Jimenez, with Traore coming from Barcelona with their experience. Jimenez is amazing at bringing the rest of the team into the game. I don't know if you know, I've seen how many chances he creates just by his movement for creating off the ball, just little flick-ons for other players. He's great with his assists. Apart from his goal scoring, his
overall gameplay is brilliant.
Jimenez is a star.
So they lose. And
Traore, a legend.
And Traore on the other hand is just a beast. That man got power, he's muscle, he's huge. He's like, I don't know if you checked earlier pictures of him, how thin he was when he left. Not thin, but he wasn't as big as he is now. And now he can put his head down and he can gas past anyone. If he decides, I'm going to power past this guy, he can get past probably the best defenders in the world with the kind of shape he's in. So,
what about the main man, Doherty?
Yeah, Doherty, your favorite boy.
What a player, bro. Sure.
But
do you remember when you asked us about making our best EPL team? That man was also...
Yeah, he probably would have made it instead of your Doucouré, Kai?
What was the other one there? There was another...
But final thoughts on Wolves, Kai. I think a shout out to Nuno as well. What's your thoughts on what he's achieved at Wolves?
United, man. Let us talk about United a little bit. You asked me about Wolves too.
We can do that. But Nuno, I mean, it's a similar story, like how we keep on harping about what Klopp has done and what Arteta is currently doing. I mean, he's brought mentality to that Wolves side. He's brought a lot of players that are actually way above the name brand of Wolves. I mean, if you look at that team, there's full international players in that team. I mean, Rui Patricio is a Portuguese international. Traore is firing. You know, a lot of these guys. I mean, João Moutinho as well. You know, they full internationals. And he's getting the best out of these players. He's playing with a purpose. He's getting them to play by his philosophy. So, I mean, I've got to give him props. I mean, he's done whatever needs to be done for a side to thrive in the Premiership. I mean, he's locked down that defense, and he gets good goals from the likes of Jimenez, Jota, and all of these guys. So, you got to give the guy props.
Yeah, and I know this segment was meant to be Europa League, but I felt it was a great point to talk about Wolves and the great season they had. But to close out this one, boys, who are you seeing taking this Europa League title? And put your bias aside, Shay, and we've got some really
sometimes
brilliant teams.
You just have to support your team when certain questions are asked, and I can give no other answer. Sorry.
So Shay is going straight down the middle, no thoughts around anyone else but Ole. Shay?
Yes, of course. Let me just give you a quick synopsis of my comparison of him to Ferguson. Ferguson, 26 years. Quickly, a quick one.
Quick one, we're giving you 30 seconds.
6 years with United, obviously stealing 13 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 2 Champions Leagues. He even got knighted. I mean, not many sportsmen get knighted. It's the cricket players, the footballers, and he was a football manager. He went all the way. He started his coaching career off in Scotland, and he eventually coached the Scottish national team, and then he took over United in '86, and we all know the story after that. It was United dominance for many years, up until 2013. Ole was in the reserve management, learning from Ferguson, having just been in the change room with him throughout this entire title dominance of eras, generations. It went over decades.
Yeah, he was a super sub, but he was always looking.
He was a super sub, but he was always lurking. He was always on the bench. He was always learning. He was always observing. He was our super sub. That babyface assassin will come off in the 90th minute and steal the 3 points for us. He was that man. And now, for 3 years, from 2008 to 2011, I think he was part of that coaching staff. And then Ferguson left in 2013, in which time Solskjaer went on to coach in Norway. He pulled a 3-year stint at a club called Molde, and then he went to Wales and he coached Cardiff, and then he went back for another 4 years.
What happened at Cardiff, by the way?
Wait, exactly. He got sacked first season.
Okay, yeah, forget it. So it didn't work out. He got to see a club, he went out, he saw, but that's not taking anything away from what he's just...
They got 20 points, I think, in that season.
Irrespective, guy. Irrespective.
Come
but
on.
He must not...
You can't say Ferguson. You look at, as much as I hate United, you cannot say Ferguson and Ole in the same sentence.
You haven't given him a chance in his career yet. You haven't given him a chance. All I'm doing is giving you the comparison. So what Ferguson's generation brought and what knowledge lies with Solskjaer right now.
I think you're making a good point, because Solskjaer has shown that given enough time, he can get good football happening at Old Trafford. He's shown that in the last 3-4 months. Got his opportunity to bring his style of players in, and the likes of Fernandes has now just created this dynamic football team. So let's give him a chance. Let's see how it goes. But you stick into your choice in his first full season to pick up a trophy.
Yeah, I am. I hope it works out. I hope we get through Sevilla. I'm not looking towards Inter yet. It's one match at a time. After we get past this Sevilla, then I hope we chow into. Obviously, it'll be good. Alexis, Lukaku, Ashley Young, all playing against United. That'll be a top final.
Kai, obviously a lot less bias on your side. What's your thoughts? Who's taking Europa League glory this year?
Nah, it's got to be Inter, man. I don't want to get too deep into that. I'll explain to you why Inter are a better club, right?
And then
from a United perspective, Ole is useless in my opinion. He got sacked from 2 teams. He's playing with the United side that they're playing with this youth team that just, I mean, these guys are obviously hungry to score goals, and that's it. So if they wanna carry on and act like they're a better team than they are,
one season.
So
there's only one.
Why are you so
semi-final is not the final.
Why are you so hostile? Why are you so hostile?
The manager that did that was Ferguson.
Someone did business from Bangladesh.
For shame.
So Kai is really putting his voice out there, anti-Solskjaer, but he's going for Inter. Good. Let me give you this opportunity to close it out. Why do you, and I'm fairly confident you're supporting your boys to take this title as well. So I'm giving you the stage to
you
tell us
supported
why
Arsenal in the FA Cup,
Kai is not correct. Good.
Hey, Inter has, you'll mention players of yesteryears, just like Inter team of yesteryears.
This is like Southampton and Liverpool. They got 3. What? They got Lukaku is 31. Lukaku is 27. Young is 35. Then the only other players is Moses. They got that guy. I don't even know how to say this Italian.
Moses, Moses is alive. So out of Egypt, right?
So you think Inter doesn't have a chance, and it's all United or Sevilla?
No, they have a chance. It's
they're favorites. I'm sure even the odds are in their favor.
Yeah, probably.
United are favorites.
With United's history lately, but we have to support United supporters, and we can chow them. This is ex-United players leading the front line. Obviously,
So you rather support the ex-United players?
Why would you support the ex-United players?
So listeners, you can hear this. When United are involved, there's always a lot of hostility from the United supporters and the anti-United supporters in the likes of Kai. But
the biased supporter.
Yeah,
obviously.
But
against United.
We'll revisit this topic in a future episode, just before the final. In the Europa League. If United don't make it to the final, that's going to be an entertaining episode. Okay, boys. So Europa League, we'll wait and see who gets to the final. But moving on to the other European segment, we're talking Juventus in the second segment, and they were recently taken out from the Champions League by a Lyon team that no one expected to go through. I know we called it that Juve would easily get past Lyon, but they didn't, and they went out on the away goals rule to Lyon. And the day after that loss, we saw Sarri take the sack. Juventus were very quick in their action against Sarri, though he brought the Serie A title to Turin. He was sacked immediately, and just a few hours later, the maestro, the El Professore, Andrea Pirlo, was appointed as the new head coach at Juventus, and many of us didn't see that coming. There were lots of odds on Pochettino taking that role, but Pirlo has been brought in. And Kai, to get your opinions first up, we spoke a lot about ex-players coming back to their old teams, and here we have Pirlo stepping in for a big role at Juventus. What's your thoughts on that appointment, Kai?
Yeah, it's definitely a trend that we can see recently, and it's nice to see it. These ex-players coming back and taking charge of teams that they obviously played for or whatever, right? But I mean, for me, this guy's got zero experience in the position. I mean, they're probably trying to take the same stance that Barcelona did with Guardiola and Zidane at Madrid. But this guy hasn't even coached a youth team. Now he's going to come and try and coach the Juventus first team.
You being hostile against everyone, bro. You're not giving any coach a chance.
No,
only one you want to talk about.
Let's hear him out. Let's hear him out, Shane.
Only coach you believe.
Let's hear him out. Kai, tell us why you think.
After what he said about Solskjaer.
Let's hear why Pirlo is not
Guardiola. Yeah, so Guardiola spent a season in the B team, right? Barcelona. He spent a season in the B team. He obviously understood the players that were going to come up into the first team. The likes of Busquets, Pedro, those guys, he brought them into the senior squad.
Yeah.
Right? And he obviously, what he did to that Barcelona side in the future years. Champions League finals, titles, whatever. Zidane, similar story. I mean, he played.
You're going to pick on Zidane too. You're going to pick on Zidane.
Listen.
Like, you'll chew luck about Zidane because he got 3 Champions Leagues. He's done what no manager ever did.
Wait, let him finish. Let him finish. Let's hear him out. I'll give you your chance.
I mean, Pirlo.
Go ahead.
Right,
Go ahead. Finish out, Kai.
Zidane, similar story. Real Madrid Casillas, right? 2 seasons. He was there, right? And after that, he was assistant to Carlo Ancelotti, right? He went on to win that campaign in 2013-2014 under this guy. He obviously was under the tutelage of him.
Yeah.
He went through. What I'm saying is, what I'm trying to get at is, these guys have gone through a process of learning the trade. They've learned the club that they are going to be coaching in the future, and that's the reason why they were fully equipped to take the club into future glory. Pirlo, all of you guys know, I mean, I love the guy. I always was a fan of Pirlo, but he's got zero experience and zero backing in terms of how he's tried to develop his career to get into management. In my opinion, it's going to be an entire flop. And that's what Gattuso has even told him in an interview recently. He said, you've got the hardest job in the world and you obviously don't have any experience for it. So it's going to be a zero for me.
No experience, and Kai says it's going to be a failure. Shay, so tell me now why you feel strongly that Pirlo can succeed at Juve, because it sounded like you disagreed with Kai. So tell me why you think he can succeed.
Give him a chance. Firstly, he hasn't had a game yet. He hasn't even shown what he could possibly do. I'm not saying that he's going to go out and win 3 Champions Leagues like Zidane did. Not everyone goes and does that. That's not normal what he did. But with the kind of team that he just inherited, there's enough success in there. There's plenty. There's a ton of talent and there's a ton of accomplishments. So having that as a foundation to build on, I am sure that this Juventus team can win titles. I am sure that they are dying to win the Champions League at some point soon, because Ronaldo will have to win it with one more team. He'll want to win it with one more team. Definitely. And I mean, if you look at the current trend right now with the managers who are out there who have been moving around, who are actually relevant, it's Mourinho and Pep in the Premier League, and Zidane in Spain, having played for Real Madrid, Lampard Chelsea, Solskjaer with his United history, Arteta with his Arsenal history, and now Pirlo taking on his Juve. It's almost like this new trend that just happened over this generation, where we've just seen a batch of ex-generation footballers, very young guys.
Yeah, but Shay, all of those guys got their stripes.
But they have enough time. They have plenty of time. And maybe this is their first time. Maybe this is only the beginning of his career.
This is football.
But that's
no time.
Only the beginning of his
that's
career.
what Kai is saying. And Gur, I want to get your thoughts on this, because Kai is making a very good point here. He's saying, is this trend right? Should it be the case where a person like PIRLO, a person like Lampard, who has no coaching experience, and when Kai is saying coaching experience, he's saying they didn't have an opportunity to sit alongside a senior manager when the likes of Zidane got that opportunity to do it in the early 2000s. The likes of Arteta did that alongside Pep. These are guys who haven't been a number 2, but they're getting number 1 roles. Is that the right way for football to be taking that direction? Gur, what's your thoughts on that?
It's a new perspective that
let's hear Gur's opinion on this. We've got your one. You think that it's good to give them the option. Kai thinks, hell no, these are big clubs. They shouldn't be taken lightly. Gur, what's your thoughts?
Actually, like halfway between these two, because one thing is it's embarrassing when you get a manager in with no experience and they show up managers who've been managing their whole career, and it's like, hey, this is like a novice type of thing. You don't really need experience to do this. I've always said that a great manager can do something or do well with a weak team, but when your team is looking so good, you don't really need a manager. So that's why all these names are just appearing in these big named teams amongst the players. Like Real Madrid could probably have done well as well as they've done now with most managers out there. I'm not taking anything away from Zidane, who's my favorite player, but that's just how good the team is, and it's always been, and you just need an attitude there, a leadership figure to hold talks together, motivate, do these things, and strategy and all of those things are out the window now. It's all about form.
Yeah, and I think you're making a good point, and I'm hearing Kai, I'm hearing Shay. I'm agreeing to an extent, because I think Gur hit the nail on the head. The manager role is more a leadership role, someone to look up and admire, whereas there's coaching staff that bring the tactical side of the game. And I guess we'll have to wait and see, but as a Juventus fan, and I do have an affection to Juventus for many years. One of my favorite past players was Del Piero. I was hesitant to see Apollo coming in, because it feels like it's a chance being taken and there's no guaranteed success at the end. Whereas if you bring in a Pep, you bring in an
experienced... With the Piero thing, I want to just say, this guy only registered in August 2019 to become a coach. He just thing. So it wasn't even his ambition.
Yeah.
Well, he was supposed to be the youth coach or the second team coach a week before. He didn't even coach a single youth team game, and he was already promoted to the first team. Doesn't make sense.
And I guess
you watch, they'll still do well next season.
And they will. And I think that's
for me, right? I think, Raj, let me just on this one, right? So at the end of the day, Juventus have won Serie A, right? Which means, and they've sacked Sarri, which means that they have higher ambitions than just winning the league. Now, you're trying to tell me that you would want to employ a manager with zero experience to try and take you to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get.
Guys, y'all are missing the point here. Y'all are saying that these guys have zero experience. All of the managers that we named have a ton of experience. They have experience in football.
And playing is completely different.
You're forgetting that he's just been employed as a manager. This is step one of his new career. He just retired as a professional footballer, and now he's becoming a manager. This is his chance. This is the team he ended up in. He ended up with Juventus with a ton of accolades around. They just won a lot of titles. The same thing happened with Zidane. And these men...
No, I explained to you why it was not the same thing with Zidane.
Yeah, okay, maybe you're saying not the same thing because Zidane had a few years maybe in between, but he has come with a manager.
That's my issue. That's what I feel that needs to happen.
What I'm saying is they played in the same era and they both took World Cups from each other. Zidane went to 2 World Cup finals, PIRLO went to 1. In that World Cup final, he was man of the match. That one where Kroos scored that penalty.
Players.
See, they've been on top of the world.
I understand winning mentality and all of that. That's a completely different thing.
It's experience. They know what it takes. They know the mentality. They've been around that squad.
Exactly.
They know other players.
But
I completely agree with you on winning
and they can instill that in their
mentality and all of those things. But this is two different job descriptions.
But
that's
Kai,
like
it's a completely different job description. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it is.
I think Shay is making a point
He's got the head.
I think Shay is maybe you're making a point that is quite valid, Shay, and Kai, maybe to explain it in a perspective that I sometimes relate to the ordinary job on the street. In the past, you would need to have 10 years experience to take up a manager role on a simple job description. Let's call yourself a plumber. And you need to have 10 years of experience to become a manager of a plumbing company. But now, you could be plumbing, but you see the management of the plumbing business. And you don't need to have 10 years of experience. You could pick up all of those traits in your tool time, just as the footballers have in a footballing space. They've picked up managerial traits whilst they are playing the game. So
I like the analogy. I like the analogy, but what I'm trying to tell you is you're not going to go
saying you must look at a plumber's crack.
You're not going to go and beat the CEO of Apple first, off the bat, from that position. You're going to start off a little bit lower. That's what I'm
this is football. This is not this is football.
This could be the paradigm shift that the football management world is seeing. And I guess again, time will tell. Time may be told with Zidane, a very inexperienced manager, not zero experience like a PIRLO, but inexperienced, and he brought success. PIRLO, zero experience. Will he bring success to Juventus? We will see next season. I think a big part of his success will be keeping some of the key players happy. And to close out this, I want to get your thoughts on Ronaldo, and then to start off with Shay, Ronaldo playing under PIRLO, do you see him flourishing, having another successful season? We know we put in a lot of goals for Juve this year. What do you see Ronaldo doing next year under PIRLO?
So this was actually a big part of the way I was thinking of how PIRLO strategizes and actually sorts this team out. Because we've seen in Ronaldo's entire career at United, from the time he came across, the game became about him. The end game, the final product, was about to get that man on the ball and let him make it happen, either for the rest of the team or he was finding a way to put it in the back of the net. It becomes easy when one man is taking on that responsibility, and then the rest of the team can add their attacking potential from behind Ronaldo, knowing that the main responsibility wasn't him. Now, Zidane figured that out, and he made it all about him. Benzema knew his role. Bale kind of knew his role. He came on, scored his goal, but at the same time, he always linked up with Ronaldo. If you watch them play, everyone linked up with Ronaldo. It was, if he was open, you give him the ball. That's how it is there. And if he's 30, he's like 35 or something now, he's 36 or something, he's old. He's only got a few more years left. If he's going to win a few more titles, I'm sure he really wants one more Champions League. He must be dying to win it outside. He'll have it at United, Madrid, and Juve. That would be great for him if he wins this Juve one at some point. So now, if he forms that relationship with PIRLO and they get the rest of the squad going around him, they keep him fit, this team could be as good as anyone. It's just like PSG, they're in the same situation right now. They're just, and Man City, they're waiting to crack. They won their domestic titles, but they want their Champions League. So anything is possible. I think it's a good move for football. Good to throw it out and see what happens now, because you can go one of two ways. You can fail or you can succeed.
Yeah.
It's just
and with Ronaldo, he's got all the tools to succeed. But good to pull you into this one. There's some players in that Juve team that PIRLO will be looking at and thinking we need to ship out. And someone that comes to mind is Aaron Ramsey. He hasn't really featured much for Juve. Do you see the likes of Ramsey and another ex-Arsenal player in Szczesny in goal staying under PIRLO, or will PIRLO look to ship them out and bring in some fresh talent?
No, that's a hard question you're asking me. Well, I don't even know this man PIRLO as a coach, because he just registered yesterday as to be a coach. But I'm just hearing that he's what the news is saying is that he's looking to offload like 8 players or something like that.
Yeah, and one of those is Ramsey. So we could potentially see Ramsey coming back to the Premier League.
No, Ramsey's past his prime. Yeah, if he does, he'd end up in one of the promoted teams. and a bench appearance here, a bench appearance there. But man has passed his prime now, as great as Ramsey was.
Is it like 28
and another big move for him. Any move now is just down.
Yeah. Going to Italy is always a risk, and we saw that with many players who come from the English Premier League. But there are also some players in there, Kai, that potentially could be looking forward to a new manager like Pirlo coming in, the likes of Dybala, even Higuain. So is there a need for Pirlo to change up the squad a lot, or can he work with what he has?
I mean, as I said, like, these guys just won Serie A. You don't need to fix the team. For me, that, to be honest with you, they didn't even need to fix the manager, because Sarri was doing the right job. He was playing the right football.
I think that's just bad vibes there. Just wasn't gelling. Like how Mourinho ends up in most teams.
Yeah, but he was getting the best out of Ronaldo, which is what you want to do, and as what
Ronaldo's the best, no matter what. No matter who's there, Ronaldo's the best.
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think you're going to get the same thing from Pirlo at this stage. I don't think Ronaldo is going to play as well as he's done for the past 4 managers that he's played for.
We have to expect his goal ratio to come down at some point. He's like really old now, but he's still been going at it. He goes for almost a goal a game.
Just purely from an age perspective, his goal average will have to drop. But I'm predicting his performances to drop. I mean, we always said that Ronaldo plays like
if they leave him in the box, if they turn him into a Ruud van Nistelrooy who's just poached in that 6-yard area, he's going to get so many goals because all he needs to do is pass him the ball. He'll figure a way to put it on target.
Yeah, and that's also assuming that Ronaldo's going to stay, because there's obviously big talk of him leaving the club.
Yeah.
There's a few guys that are probably wanting to leave, and that's Khedira, Ronaldo, Aaron Ramsey, Dybala, Costa, Diego Costa. Those guys. I mean, Douglas Costa. All of these guys are touted to be leaving this club. So you might be getting a completely different side in the next season. And then I'm going to have to eat my words and say that they're probably not going to perform as well as they did.
That's going to be a big one, Kai. If Pirlo manages to get the Champions League next season, Shea and Gur are going to let you have it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping
and the thing is,
take the Champions League,
I'll tip my hat if he wins it, but I'm going to probably place a bet. I'll put my money where my mouth is, and I'll say that they'll never win it.
I really think, guys, to close out this segment, I really think that it's anyone's guess how Pirlo would do in this side. No experience, but he's got a squad full of winners, a squad full of experience, a squad that has Cristiano Ronaldo. So let's see how Pirlo does in his first full season. He's got a bit of a pre-season to work on the Juve team, put his ideas into that squad. But best of luck to Pirlo, and time will tell whether experience is needed to be successful. Okay, boys, moving on to the last topic, a bit of fun to end the show. I know it's been the heated opinions during the first 2 segments, but this is a lot more fun. We're going back to our favorite trivia aspect of it, and today is trivia to find out how well you know your own team. So, Kai being a gunner, we'll be testing his Arsenal knowledge, and Shay and Gur will be testing your United knowledge. And I thought about this topic after a recent transfer news where my team, Liverpool, managed to secure their first summer signing in a Greek left back. Kostas, we'll call him, because we don't know how to pronounce his last name, Tsimikas. But yes, that got me thinking there's been some really well-represented countries around the Premiership, and Greece is obviously one of them. And many of these countrymen has played in our favorite teams, and especially yours in United and Arsenal. So I'm going to be testing your knowledge on some of the most obscure countries to represent your favorite team. So I'm going to ask you to name a player from this specific country that has played for your team. Easy enough, boys?
Only one.
Only one. So it's going to be a bit obscure, but if you know your team well enough, which I'm sure you do, you'll get this one quite easily. Okay, so we'll start this round with Shay. Shay, this one's going to be fairly easy for you.
I can see Saga Googling there.
Yeah, no Googling, guys. You know the rules. So, Shay.
Of course, no Google. How can you? But I am feeling a bit nervous about this.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm the one
yeah.
who's nervous right now. Ask me the question.
Okay, first one up, Shay. Name one player from the Caribbean islands that has represented Manchester United. Any of the islands. Eh? So that could.
Dwight York.
Which country was he from?
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Tobago's.
Good on, Shay.
Should I ask me
Nice
that?
one, Trinidad and Tobago. He's
Nice
the
one,
only
well
player
done.
to have represented Manchester United from the Caribbean islands, and he was from Trinidad and Tobago. Nice one, Shay.
Sure.
Kai, on to you. An easy one to start you off as well. Let's see if you'll get this one. And name one player that has represented your country, your club, Arsenal, from Israel.
Benayoun.
You see Benayoun. Well done, Kai. Kai knows his
Yeah.
team quite well. Benayoun played for Arsenal,
Liverpool.
Chelsea. So he's been well represented in the Premier League.
God.
But an obscure country in Israel represented some of the biggest clubs in the English Premier League. Well done, Kai. Moving on to Gur. Gur, the boys have set some high standards here.
Say England. Please say England.
That's the whole team there.
That is the most obscure country.
Okay, a fairly easy one for you, Gur. Not a very obscure country, but not many people from this country. I'm going to ask you for one player, but I'm going to exclude the most popular player from this country. I want you to name a player that's represented Manchester United from Sweden, excluding Zlatan. Obviously, Zlatan is the most well-known player. I'll give you a hint as well. There's one player that's Swedish in your squad right now.
It has to be Matic.
Can we get a bonus point?
Beep. Incorrect. Anyone want to help Gur out on this one? Incorrect. Matic is actually from Croatia.
Henrik Larsson. But I don't know
Henrik Larsson, nice one. But the current player, the current one is Lindelof.
Oh,
That's the one you're missing.
Man.
Okay, Adlak, Gur, but close enough. Very similar. Okay, Shay, moving
I
on.
want to ask you a question then, Raj. I mean, it's a Liverpool guy. Let's give you one, right? So, ex-Liverpool player representing the Czech Republic.
One of my favorite players growing up.
Yeah.
Patrick Berger.
Give me a South Africa.
I got that one. I was thinking Milan Barros, but you got Berger. That's a good one.
Give me a South African, Raj.
From
Liverpool.
From Liverpool. We've had the most famous South African is South African but never played for South Africa, Mark Gonzalez.
All right.
And most people might be thinking Bruce Grobbelaar, but he was Zimbabwean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to you guys. Yep, he is Zimbabwean.
I will claim him anyway, close enough.
Okay, Shay, next one for you. Name us one player that played for United, and there's only one, from Angola.
Angola, that would be Manucho.
Are you Googling, Shay?
Manucho, bro, no. He's a striker with block.
Well done.
We're all looking forward to that coming. You pulled in and then
Manucho, Angolan striker, didn't succeed in the United Red, but one of the...
he did his part. I remember his name, so good enough.
Nice one, Shay. Okay, good. Staying with United, let's get this one from you. You should get this one because it's a fairly recent name. Name us one player to have represented Manchester United from Armenia.
This one's gone to Arsenal.
Yep, you onto him there. You onto him?
Yeah, what's Mkhitaryan?
Henrik Mkhitaryan, well done. Armenian international, a very obscure country, but a great talent Mkhitaryan was and still is. He's playing
No,
for
it's like a good player.
Yeah,
Just
it was
wasn't.
just misunderstood.
He
was fighting everywhere.
Still doing his thing in Roma. Great player,
Roma.
but a very obscure country. Kai, moving on to you. Sticking with our African connections, name one player to represent Arsenal from Nigeria.
Kanu.
Nwankwo Kanu.
Nwankwo Kanu. Nice.
NIOB.
Quite a few Nigerians represented Arsenal over the years, but those are two of the most famous ones.
Size 14 shoe that we had back. Size 14.
Yeah.
It used to be hard to find boots back then.
Yeah. Okay, last round, boys. Shay, starting with you again. Let me find a really obscure one for you, and let's see if you can get this one. Okay, from the country of Senegal, who has represented Manchester United from Senegal?
I'm gonna guess Jemba, bro. I don't know.
Eric Jemba. What do you think, guys? Anyone want to give an answer? Is obviously African, but was he and is Eric Jemba a Senegalese international? Beep, incorrect. Jemba is actually Cameroonian, but good guess there, Shay. There's only been one Senegalese international representing Manchester United, and he was Diouf.
Which
Diouf?
Alhaji Diouf.
Alhaji Diouf played for Liverpool, guys.
He was Liverpool, yeah.
Oh, I thought
Mame Biram Diouf.
Diouf.
He moved over to Stoke. Everyone remembers him playing for Stoke, but he
never really cracked the first team. But he was quite a powerful guy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. And he ended up playing right fullback or right wing back for Stoke.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to Kai. Last one for you. Let's see if you get this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you another very obscure one. Let's see if you get this one. It's from the country of Argentina. It is a common footballing nation, but not very many people have represented Arsenal who have been Argentine. Giving you a countdown so you don't Google.
Oh, Emi Martinez.
Hey, here we go.
Oh, nice.
I thought there was another question too.
Nah, don't lie. You were trying to remember that one. Nice one. Emi Martinez lifted the FA Cup for the Gunners this year, and yeah, Argentine was looking to break into the Argentinian team for the coming season. So he might not be with you guys next year, Kai. The rumors that he might be leaving to get some.
Yeah, United want him because De Gea is so shit.
Okay, to close out the segment, Gur, last one for you, and to bring it home. This will be an easy one, so I'm going to ask a follow-up afterwards. Name one South African to play for Manchester United, and thereafter name one Australian.
Fortune and
Quentin Fortune, well done. Our famous Bafana.
Australian would be
There's only been one Australian, so if you get this, kudos.
Doesn't
Give you a hint. He is just like you. He is a goalkeeper. He also played for Aston Villa in the Premier League.
In the Premier League.
3, 2, 1. Beep. Mark Bosnich.
Mark Bosnich.
Cocaine Bosnich.
Stop watching football.
It doesn't even sound Australian.
It's at United though.
Yeah, boys.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. Funny enough, there's been no Greeks that have played for United. But yeah, the segment stemmed from the latest transfer from Liverpool, where we've got another obscure country in Greece represented in one of the big teams. But I hope you guys had fun on this one.
Sure. It was good, man.
Good man.
Shot, man.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff, boys. And yeah, that brings an end to our show for the day. Some exciting conversations, some heated debates, especially around Andrea Pirlo and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And that's how we bring it from the streets of South Africa. Authentic opinions from the boys. We'll see who has the last laugh at the end of the Europa League campaign. But boys, always good to have you here. Thanks for your time.
Shot, Raj.
Thanks, Raj.
Shot, guys.
Catch you again on the crab nets.
Short, always. Listeners, I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, some heated debates, some good fun at the end, looking at obscure countries to be signed by our favorite teams. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Crab Nets. We'll be back again next week, bringing fresh opinions straight from the streets of South Africa. Only here on the Crab Net Show. Over and out.